Can a simple bow change the perception of an entire country? That's exactly what happened in the Wimbledon final, when Spanish tennis player Carlos Alcaraz, despite losing, won the hearts of the United Kingdom with an unexpected gesture. What seemed like just a trophy presentation turned into a viral moment full of elegance, tradition, and a conversation that no one heard, until now. Because yes, we have the words Kate Middleton said to Carlos Alcaraz, and what the young champion replied. A brief exchange, but one that left many speechless. What did they actually say? Find out here. Carlos Alcaraz arrived at the Wimbledon final with the pressure of defending the title he had won the previous year. Opposite him stood an unstoppable Jannik Sinner, who ultimately took the crown. But instead of giving in to frustration, Alcaraz offered one of the most striking images of the tournament. Upon receiving the runner-up trophy, he made a deep bow to Princess Kate Middleton, an unusual gesture among international tennis players. The crowd's reaction was immediate: applause, ovations, and a wave of respect for the young Spaniard's humility. The bow was not just a sign of good manners, but also a nod to British tradition. At Wimbledon, the presence of royalty has always carried symbolic weight. From protocol to the smallest gestures, everything is closely observed. And Alcaraz, far from missing the mark, shone for his sensitivity and respect towards that culture. It was a subtle but powerful act that captured the attention of millions and made headlines across Europe. Without raising his voice, without medals or speeches, Alcaraz said much more than with his shots. But what really set the internet on fire came seconds after the gesture. According to sources close to the event, there was a brief exchange of words between Princess Kate and Carlos Alcaraz that was not picked up by the official microphones, but that some attending journalists partially overheard. Kate, with a warm smile, reportedly leaned slightly toward Alcaraz to congratulate him and thank him for his elegance on the court. Alcaraz, visibly moved, responded with humility and sincerity. The princess is said to have told him, "You played with heart, Carlos. It's an honor to have you here." To which he replied, "Thank you, Your Highness. Playing on this court, in front of you and your people, is a dream come true." The tone was intimate, respectful, and genuine. At that moment, the sets and the score didn't matter. Alcaraz had earned something more valuable than a trophy. He had earned the admiration of a nation that values nobility of character as much as sporting talent. This brief dialogue was interpreted by many as a reflection of the new spirit of modern tennis: competitive, yes, but also human. In an era where gestures count more than ever, this exchange represented a perfect fusion between institutional respect and the sincere emotion of sport. Kate Middleton, known for her grace and approachability, recognized not just Alcaraz's talent, but also his way of representing his country with pride and humility. Alcaraz's gesture and the subsequent conversation with Princess Kate Middleton continued to resonate in the following days. On British social media, thousands of users highlighted the unusual and emotional nature of the moment. Some even noted that not all previous finalists had shown such courtesy, making Alcaraz's bow stand out even more. It became an iconic image, used by news outlets and newspapers to talk about the new gentleman of tennis, an unofficial title, but a very meaningful one. Moreover, the connection between Alcaraz and the British royal family didn't end there. King Felipe VI himself, who traveled to London specifically to witness the final, saw the bow in the brief dialogue with Kate Middleton. After the match, Alcaraz publicly thanked the monarch for his support, once again showing his sense of honor and the value he places on tradition. The Spanish press highlighted the king's presence as significant institutional backing, while in the UK, it was seen as a sign of mutual respect between royal houses and athletes. Many sports analysts noted that these kinds of details are what make Wimbledon such a special tournament. It's not just a championship, but an event steeped in history and values. Alcaraz's conduct reflected not only his maturity, but also his ability to adapt and shine on a culturally demanding stage like the All England Club. While some players focus solely on the athletic aspect, Alcaraz managed to connect with the emotional core of the event, and that made all the difference. Kate Middleton's words resonated far beyond the moment. In later interviews, sources close to Kensington Palace said the princess was deeply impressed by the Spanish player's composure. "He is an admirable young man with inspiring energy. He didn't need to win to show he's a true champion," she reportedly said in private. That phrase, echoed by several media outlets, solidified the public perception of Alcaraz as more than a standout athlete, as an ambassador of the sport. Even some traditionally reserved British sports commentators joined in the praise. One of them said on a BBC program, "What we saw was a lesson in class. Carlos lost the match, but he won Wimbledon in his own way." The clip went viral on platforms like TikTok and X, where many British users declared themselves new Alcaraz fans forever. Some even called for him to be awarded an honorary distinction for his behavior. In a world where public figures are constantly exposed and judged, moments like this become even more valuable. Carlos Alcaraz's bow was not a planned or publicity-driven act, but an authentic expression of respect. And the warm, personal response from Kate Middleton completed the scene like a perfect choreography between tradition and emotion. A brief conversation, a sincere gesture, and a legacy that goes beyond the final score. Carlos Alcaraz did not win the 2025 Wimbledon title, but he achieved something even more memorable, earning the admiration of the United Kingdom with his exemplary conduct. His bow to Kate Middleton and their brief dialogue left an indelible mark on the tournament, reminding us that tennis is also played with the heart. Beyond points, sets, or trophies, what truly endures is how an athlete behaves in the face of adversity. And Alcaraz proved that losing a match is not the same as being defeated. Sometimes, the true victory lies in how one rises, greets, and bows. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most talked about moments of Wimbledon 2025. If you were surprised by this leaked conversation between Carlos Alcaraz and Kate Middleton, just imagine how many more stories are hidden behind the sacred grass of tennis. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, leave your comment on what you thought of Alcaraz's gesture, and of course, share this video with true fans of sports and elegance. See you at the next match. Alcaraz, I take away so many things from this final. The Spaniard lost his first Grand Slam final to Jannik Sinner. Carlos Alcaraz could not win his third consecutive Wimbledon title, but he leaves the All-England club with his head held high. After losing the final to Jannik Sinner, the Mercian offered a mature reflection focused on learning and growth. His message, far from disappointment, centered on acceptance, evolution, and the ambition to continue competing at the top level. The grass swing I've had has been very positive, said the number 2 in the PIF ATP rankings. It's been about 4 weeks here in London that I'm very proud of and happy about, the Spaniard added. Obviously losing a Grand Slam final is always hard to accept, but we've learned to take things as they come and find the positives. I'm not feeling down, I'm actually proud of everything I've done. During the match, which he lost in 4 sets, Alcaraz experienced moments of confidence. And of being stuck. There were good moments in the match when I felt perfect, and then others where I didn't know what to do, admitted the Mercian. After the first set, Sinner raised his level a lot, especially from the baseline, and I felt like I wasn't hurting him. In that moment, he was better than me. Today he played a more complete game, he explained. And that's when I got frustrated. We mentally froze because we were facing a player who practically left no openings. Far from hiding, Alcaraz clearly identified what he needs to improve. I take away so many things from this final, warned the Spaniard. Things I need to improve. I've never been the type to write down what I did wrong after a loss, but today I have it very clear, and maybe I'll write them down to work on in training. That's how a great champion is forged, he reflected. From defeats, especially ones that hurt, like a Grand Slam final, is where you learn the most. You have to accept that sometimes the other player is better, be proud of what you've done, and prepare for the next one. Despite the defeat, the 22-year-old won't stray a bit from his way of understanding tennis. Quite the opposite. Right now I'm not feeling low, Alcaraz confessed. On the contrary. My team came to see me and I was smiling as soon as I came off the court, he revealed. You have to be grateful for what you're experiencing. And this was a very good tournament. I lost to someone who showed an incredibly high level. The way Sinner moves on grass is amazing, he praised. In the 4th set, there was a moment when I told myself, you have to enjoy this. I started smiling a lot more, and that's when I had more break chances. To me, that says a lot about being on the right path. Alcaraz's season, with a title at Roland Garros, a Wimbledon final, and 4 other trophies, reinforces his place at the top of the tennis world. I would have signed off on this season without a doubt, he admitted. I've won several Masters 1000s, 1 Grand Slam, a final and another Grand Slam. You have to see it positively. Not many people have had the chance to play a Wimbledon final, and that's something to value. What we've done is very good. It's time for us to impose our tennis, our level, and reach the final rounds of the big tournaments, he said. We are building a very beautiful rivalry for tennis. Everyone sees Jannik as an example, as the player to beat, and many look up to him to improve. Me too. I hope we can continue building this story together. Now it's time for rest. After a very demanding schedule, Alcaraz will take a few days off before facing the American swing. The last few months have been very demanding. I've had practically no rest except for the days I spent in Ibiza, he recalled. Now we'll listen to the body, see what it needs, and plan what's next from there. We have to face the American swing with energy. Carlos Alcaraz's future plans after his Wimbledon loss, beyond Ibiza. After losing the Wimbledon final to Jannik Sinner, the Mercian tennis player revealed what path he will follow and spoke about his physical condition. Carlos Alcaraz couldn't retain his Wimbledon crown. This time, the Mercian fell to Jannik Sinner in 4 sets. The Italian achieved his revenge after Roland Garros and became the first player to beat the Spaniard in a Grand Slam final. After exhausting weeks with the Queen's Tournament and the British Grand Slam, Alcaraz revealed his roadmap, making rest his first move, and reflected on this season. Now I'm going to take a few days of vacation, to disconnect. It's been a very demanding season, especially the last few months. I've had very few days of rest, apart from those I spent in Ibiza, as everyone knows, reflected the world number 2 in his post-match press conference, as reported by Marca. On the other hand, the player from El Palmar spoke about his physical state. We are going to listen to the body. At the moment, I don't have any physical issues. But playing matches like this, week after week, is very tiring. We'll see how I evolve and how we approach the American swing. With Wimbledon, the grass chapter closes, and the hard court season begins with the North American swing, which includes 2 Masters 1000 events, Toronto and Cincinnati. And as the final stop, there's the last Grand Slam of the season, the US Open. This time, with no Olympic Games in between, the Mercian will have more time to reset for what's ahead.